Welcome to this video, and we are back in the sky today for a trip to Italy for this weekend. And today I'm going to be flying with Iberia Express, which is actually a flight operated on behalf of British Airways. So let's go and have a look and see what the experience is like. And as you can see, we're already at the South Terminal having checked in. Check-in process was pretty easy and straightforward. And yeah, the kind of BA area has changed around a little bit, but it's fairly self-explanatory, and the usual kind of check-in queues for club and well, Sapphire Emerald members is all kind of much the same. So yeah, check-in process was literally done in like 2 minutes, and then it was through to security we went. With security done, we are now through, and we're just going to go downstairs to departures. Security was fairly quick and straightforward. There wasn't too much of a queue there that time of the morning. I don't even think I used the priority queue, so yeah, it was pretty straightforward. Just the usual kind of security experience that we all get, and then it's usually, as like most airports tend to be, you go straight into the duty-free shops and then get through there and off to departures. So yeah, so we've got a bit of time to my flight, so I decided to make my way over to the Galleries Club Lounge, and obviously the Gatwick lounges have all reopened now, so yeah, let's hop over there and see what the lounge is like. You find your way to this corridor, and this is kind of where all the lounges in the South Terminal tend to be. So you have the kind of club rooms and #1 lounge, which you can get with a priority pass, but obviously I can use the British Airways lounge because I'm travelling in club and I'm a silver member, so I can simply walk up the stairs. There is a lift there if you choose to use it, but I'm one of these people, I just don't like using lifts. I just prefer to walk up the stairs personally, but it doesn't take too long, and as you say, the lounge is pretty easy to find, and there we go. The Gatwick Lounge, I actually probably prefer this to the Heathrow Lounge in many respects, and I think it's because it has been more recently refurbished, and it's definitely a lot more open and airy, and you know, obviously certainly less busy than Heathrow would be at the moment. And yeah, you know, the window views are pretty impressive as well. There's quite a lot going on. It's pretty cool to have a one-way view from here as well. So yeah, I can highly recommend the Gatwick Lounges. So I kind of tucked into a cup of tea and stuff there, and as you say, they're all quite easy to find, sort of tea and coffee machines there. So I had an espresso and then a cup of tea. And then there's various food options. I mean, so the cold foods like croissants and stuff, you can just pick those up yourself. But if you want anything else, like sort of any hot foods or snacks, or in my case, because I wanted a bowl of cereal and some fruit because I was on a diet, you could just order that via the usual sort of web app there, and then people bring it to your table pretty quickly. And I would say it was all a very good service, very similar to what you'd get at Heathrow. So yeah, really good experience in the lounge so far. I was also having such a great time in the lounge that the time had gone by so quickly. It was already time for departure, so I was making my way over to the gate at this point. So I was just having a quick sort of walk through, and you can see the lounge is very well laid out. I think it's pretty clear where everything is, and as you say, if you need anything, the staff were very friendly as well. I certainly found that they're very helpful, and yeah, I do like this little icon on the sign there. But yeah, so we're making our way over to gate, I believe it was gate 16 for departure. Not too much of a walk, and we were eventually at the gate. So this flight is operated by Iberia Express on behalf of British Airways, and this is mainly because BA at the moment, I think at Gatwick especially, they're having a few resourcing issues. So they've got their sister company Iberia Express, which is also part of the IAG group, to operate some of their flights for them. So the experience should in theory be much the same, but we will see. And also you do have to wear an FFP2 mask on flights to Italy at the moment. So as you can see, I've got that equipped there. We're just about to board the aircraft now. I'm sat in seat 1F for this outbound flight to Verona, and I was actually greeted to a very warm welcome by the cabin manager. She actually came and introduced herself to me and said, yep, if you have anything you need, come and speak to me. And yeah, she was very welcoming, so I'd say a very good first impression by the Iberia crew. And yeah, you'll see with the front row, you do get quite a bit more leg room than you do behind, so as you say, if you can get one of these, they're pretty cool seats to have, I find. Shortly after I sat down, I had a friend come and join me, and that is, of course, the Dettol sanitary wipe. About 5 minutes after our departure time, we pushed back from the gates for our departure to Verona today. Taxi time's very quick, and we were shortly at runway 8 right, ready for departure to Verona. We had a short wait there for probably about 5-10 minutes just because there were quite a few aircraft coming into land, so definitely Gatwick has definitely started to see an increase in traffic again, so it's nice to see that I think all of our airports in the UK now are starting to get busy again as people are being able to travel more freely. So yeah, and as you say, we're now ready for a departure, so yeah, watch and enjoy the takeoff. Okay, that's our departure from Gatwick, and we sort of climb here for a little bit before turning south towards the European continent, and yeah, up into the clouds. So it's slightly cloudy here, just above Gatwick, but as we get towards Europe, the weather does get quite beautiful, I have to say. So yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. So with us being into the cruise now, we can just see the southern coast of England there, and it's time for our breakfast. So, having used the Dettol sanitary wipe, we actually were presented with a choice of 3 breakfast options. I obviously went for the most healthy option, which is the Danish salami, smoked salmon, gravlax and feta cheese. Apologies if I didn't pronounce that correctly. So yeah, that was pretty delicious actually, and it was quite sort of refreshing. I mean, as you say, you could have had a full English if you wanted to, but being on a diet, I had to go for the healthier option. But it was very nice, and so there's a bit of fresh fruit there afterwards, just as a bit of a palate cleanser, and I had a cup of tea alongside that. And yeah, it was very impressive actually, and it does seem there's definitely been an upgrade to the service since I last flew Club as well, in the sense that you do have more of a choice again compared to what you used to have. Okay, welcome to the lavatory on board the Iberia A320. I mean, it's as you can see, they actually have all the BA branded products here, so it is generally the way the crew and everything have been trained is to replicate exactly what a BA service would be. But actually, the Iberia Express crew have been absolutely fantastic, I'd say. And definitely I think the catering service, so what I've noticed now, has definitely gone back to the pre-COVID sort of where you get the proper choices of everything, and quite a good meal there. So I wouldn't thought it looked like the healthiest option, seeing I want a bit of a diet, but it's probably about as healthy as airline food's going to get. So yeah, it's a very good flight, and we're not hopefully not going to be too much longer, probably another half hour, and we'll be landing into Verona. And with that in mind, I was back to my seat to actually have a bit of a read and make a bit of a plan of what I was going to be doing that week in Verona. And as you say, got my glasses and the mask on there, so apologies, a bit of a shocking, scary look there. But yeah, very useful to have a bit of a read and just have a bit of a plan of where we're going. And luckily, I say it was very smooth. The skies were clear, so there wasn't too much turbulence around either. And before long we were on final approach into Verona, and yeah, very quick flight, and the skies are not too sunny but particularly clear here, and so yeah, landing is very smooth, definitely much better than that Ryanair landing I had the other week. We then taxied to our stand at the arrivals terminal. So the way Verona Airport is set out is that they have a departures terminal and an arrivals terminal, and pretty much all the planes do seem to pull into the arrivals terminal, at least they did in my case. And this is where you can walk straight to passport control and be stamped in. Immigration was a fairly painless experience. It's a bit of a weird one in Italy because you do go through a set of e-gates as a British citizen, and then after that you go straight to an immigration officer. You literally just flick through your passport, pop the stamp in, and I was through in like 30 seconds. So, very quick experience through Verona, and then it's just a case of waiting for my bags, and then yeah, I was out in front very shortly, as you'll see. Being through all the airport formalities, I've just gone and purchased myself a bus ticket, as there's an Airlink bus that goes between Verona Airport and the city, so the ticket's about €6, and it's one of the red buses that you're looking for there, and that will take you to the train and bus station in Verona itself. So yeah, very straightforward experience, and into Verona we go. And we're all checked into the hotel. Luckily I was able to actually check in as well, so I was just going to drop my bag off, but they did say, well, we can check you in as soon as your room's ready, so I managed to come and do that, and then I can go out into Verona now and have my day out, and go and see some of the sort of sights, and then go and have some dinner then later on this evening. So yeah, I'd say a pretty pleasant experience overall with Iberia Express, and we'll see what they're like on the return flight tomorrow. Back at Verona Airport for check-in, back to London. So the check-in experience again was fairly smooth. I was literally first in the queue, and got the usual kind of Club Europe check-in experience, so that was fairly straightforward. There is a lounge at Verona, but that's unfortunately closed at the moment, so there is no lounge available at this time, and that is also landside, so that's actually before you go through security. So if you're going to make use of the lounge, that's something you would have to do first, sort of after you check in perhaps, but before you go through security. So yeah, it was straight through security and off to the duty-free for me, and did have a look around, and there was some alcohol and the usual aftershaves and stuff to buy, but it seemed a little bit expensive to me, so I decided to get a bag of cookies, and I thought I'll take that home to my dad. I'm sure he would appreciate those. And yeah, so there wasn't really much else to look at, and generally the way that the European airports work is that there is always more to do before you go through passport control, so just make sure you've done your shopping before you go through. So, off to passport control we go, and British citizens in this case can actually use the automated border control at the Italian airports. The only note of caution I would give is just make sure you do get a stamp, and as you can go through this, it is technically possible for the officer to not see you, so do just make sure that you have been stamped out, just to avoid any issues in the future when going back to Europe. As you can see, there's my exit stamp there, my passport, so we're all good. After about half an hour being sat down, boarding commenced, and in this case actually, because you're at the departure terminal, the planes are obviously over by the arrivals terminal, so you will need a bus to take you over there. So it was a wait out for about 5-10 minutes, so it was pretty cool to see some of the aircraft around, and then shortly our bus did arrive, and we could get on there, and this will take you over to the aircraft which is parked over at the arrivals terminal. Again, this is an Iberia Express A320, and this is actually the same aircraft we flew out on from Gatwick yesterday. So, as you can see, it's quite cool to see it from a bus, though. And yeah, I'd say the bus pulls up and we embark on using the aircraft stairs. For our return flight to London Gatwick tonight, we're sat in seat 1A in what is actually a full 2 rows of business class tonight. So the flight was completely full, so I'm guessing a couple of people probably upgraded at the last minute as well. And yeah, I'd say we weren't around too long before pushing back. After taking off from Verona, we did a very short sort of climb out and then did a quick 270 degrees turn towards the north, flying back towards the UK. As you can see, the skies are clear, so there's some very beautiful sort of nighttime scenery to have a look at there. And yeah, we're on our way back to Gatwick now. Food-wise, we had a sort of little salad here with some ham, cheeses, tomatoes and a pork pie. And also we had some olives and some parmesan there, along with a bread roll. I also had a glass of lemonade with this, and then for dessert we had a chocolate profiterole, so that is really helping my diet. But the food was delicious, I have to say, and the crew were also very attentive on this flight as well. Nothing was too much trouble for them in getting, for example, a second glass of lemonade, or was no problem either. Before long, we reached the coast of northern France here, and we're just about to cross the English Channel back over to the UK now. And yeah, so it's pretty surreal actually seeing the lights here and how much sort of scenery there is actually to see. If they have a clear sky even at night, it's pretty cool to see all of this. And here we are, having just flown back over the southern coast of England now, and we sort of cruise along here for a short while before turning towards Gatwick. Tonight we landed on Gatwick's northern runway, so runway 8 left. We parked up and were disembarking within about literally 5 minutes, so it was a very quick process, and we walked off the air bridge here. And there's a little bit of a twist to this, so I don't know whether Gatwick was being a little bit disorganised tonight, but we got locked in the air bridge, funny enough. So I think we were stuck there for about 5 or 10 minutes until the sort of attendant came back out from the gate with their pass to open the door for us. So yeah, a little bit weird. After a lengthy sprint to passport control, I went to go and get my bag, and then that is the end of the flight. So, yeah, all in all, a pretty good experience with Iberia Express, and they literally do just mirror what you'd get with any other BA flights. So, yeah, seems like it was very well prepared for, probably better than I expected, really. So, yeah, thanks for joining me on this flight. Please do like and subscribe, and comment as well if you wish to. There's quite a few exciting trips planned later this year, so please do stay tuned for those. But otherwise, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.